Hey, welcome everyone to the Gilbarco Veeder-Root Mobilize webinar series called Beyond Boundaries, Innovation in Commercial and Industrial Solutions. Firstly, we would like to sincerely apologize for the technical challenges that we faced last week. We have resolved this and are back on track to share some really great insights with you today. There are 4 webinar sessions in the series, and as you can see on the screen now as I move the deck forward, we have already covered the first topic, wet stock management in tall tank applications. In today's topic, we cover bringing control to your fuel dispensing operations. I'm Sean McQuaid, the Product Marketing Director for EMEA, and today I have with me Westar Kapita, the Commercial Director CNI for EMEA, as well as Lars Weidemeyer, the Commercial Director Fafnir for EMEA. Hey, just a quick intro on myself. I've been involved in providing technology solutions to the commercial and industrial sector since 2001. And the past 23 years have been an amazing journey for me with many varied customers. My real passion is solving customer pains and delivering value to our customers' lives. Wes, welcome to the webinar. Thanks for joining us. Would you mind just sharing a short bio on yourself, please?
Yeah, thanks, Sean, and good to be here. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those that are listening to us. So my name is Westar. I am the Director for Commercial and Industrial for Gilbarco Veeder-Root, Middle East Africa. I've been in the business now for about 3 years. My responsibility is essentially looking after all our business, all our customers, providing products and solutions, anything that is beyond the forecourt. So any business that is involved in, in energy, fuel, lubes, outside of the forecourt. So whether that be in mining, whether that be in transport, whether that be in marine, aviation, commercial road transport, I'm your guy. Yeah, so far the journey with Gilbarco has been absolutely amazing, and looking forward to the session. Thanks a lot, Sean.
Thanks, Wes. And Lars, welcome to you as well. Would you mind sharing a short bio on yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Sure. So, hey, glad to have you here on this call. Super that you have been able to join. As Sean already mentioned, my name is Lars. I'm based here in Hamburg, Germany. I'm the commercial director of Fafnir, and I'm in the business now since more than 33 years. Yeah, similar like Sean, I've been building several applications and solutions for the CNI segment. It's been really an exciting field to work in, as you can really put together customized solutions. So also today we will be heading for these kind of solutions. I'm really curious to have your feedback. So back to you, Sean.
Thanks, Lars. And just before we jump into today's session, just a quick thanks to everyone who joined us at Electrum Mining Africa 2024. The exhibition was a huge success for us, and we saw a record number of visitors to our stand this year. Kulu Mshanga, our sales director, also delivered a keynote presentation on sustainability through innovation. And I found the topic really interesting, and it was really well delivered. And then Lars and I have just returned from a visit to China, looking at these specific challenges in that market. And I can share with you that we experienced some real mind-blowing technology and saw some massive operations. From being driven around Beijing in driverless cars and buses to experiencing a port operation that clears 21 million containers a year with over 3,000 assets operating at the port itself and over 350,000 trucks registered to move containers in and out of that port. They've got a mixture of EV trucks that swap batteries in under 5 minutes, mixed with LNG, and still some diesel, but they're converting those trucks off. And we've both come back with a great understanding of just where the technology is going and where it can take us. And we really appreciate the time investment that you are making to join us today. And we want to make this session as interactive as possible. So we're going to do 2 things. Firstly, we're going to run a short poll, and we're going to ask you to answer that poll, and we will also open up our questions board. And we'll cover any questions that you might have at the end of the session. Please feel free to post your specific questions, and we'll get to those at the end of the session, as I mentioned. So let's jump into the overview of dispensing control. So control in fuel dispensing is achieved through the automation of the refueling process. Dispensing control includes the management of any fuels that move through any dispensing point, including the bulk transfers into mobile tanker trucks, and then obviously the dispensing from those mobile tanker trucks into the end user assets. The objective of automation is to reduce human error, streamline the processes, and improve cost control through better inventory management. Wes, I believe you're going to share with us some real market trends and insights that we're seeing in this space.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean, and thank you very much for that. And certainly, what we're seeing from a trend point of view is that consumer demand for more convenience, hassle-free experience, the demand for efficient fuel management. When you talk about stringent environmental regulation and advancement in fuel technology, are effectively driving some of the trends that we're seeing in fuel dispensing control. I mean, we are certainly witnessing a dramatic shift in our industry. I mean, steady growth in the market in key specific segments listed. So when we talk about data analytics, telematics, alternative energy, electrification, EVs, sustainability. These are big talking points, both in the private and in the public sector as well. So, Sean, let me try to add a little more color to these trends. So back in August, in our first webinar, we actually spoke about the importance of data analytics and making it core to your business. However, just to reiterate, right, when we talk about data analytics and telematics, the power of data itself cannot be underestimated. So when you talk about fuel dispensing control systems, these are increasingly utilizing data analytics to predict maintenance needs and optimize operation. So when you start deploying analytics as part of your core solution set, analyzing usage, fueling patterns, and performance metrics, you can actually proactively address issues way before they actually start to escalate. Therefore, you're actually able to reduce costs, improve service, reliability, efficiencies into your business. So when you look at telematics and data analytics, play a crucial role in enhancing fuel dispensing controls by improving efficiency, safety, and overall management of fuel resources, right? So to give an example, here's how they work together. If you think about real-time monitoring, asset tracking, remote diagnostics, think about analyzing your usage pattern, and fraud detection, something that we obviously is quite prevalent from a Middle East Africa point of view in terms of fraud. So by analyzing the dispensing data, looking at anomalies, you're able to identify those issues of theft and fraud, and therefore prompting you to be able to investigate and actually put those preventing measures into place. So essentially, when you look at telematics and data analytics, they're able to provide, comprehensive solution for fuel dispensing, which leads to enhanced decision making in your particular business. So in summary, when you look at those two, the combination of telematics and data analytics and fuel dispensing controls not only improves operation efficiency, but also enhances security, compliance, and customer service. But I want to talk about what really I think is the most critical part, okay, is really about the green economy, Sean. Okay, and this is really important. And I think when you think about alternative energy, sustainability, electrification, as if we can call that the green economy, right? These are no longer just trendy buzzwords that we use today. I mean, they are essentially crucial aspects of fuel dispensing, and there should be a key component, a key part of every business strategy and a vision for the future. Actually, not just a vision for the future, but a vision for now, because these issues are of today. I mean, this enables you to focus on minimizing environmental impact and improving operation efficiencies and promoting the responsible use of resources throughout the fuel dispensing process. So Sean, to be quite honest, to be involved in the green economy today, it's just bloody good business sense. And let's face it, right? You can deploy several strategies, technologies, practices that help reduce carbon emissions, waste, and energy consumption whilst ensuring safety and compliance. So for example, right, like optimizing your pump operation, you can use LED lighting and other low energy technologies to reduce your electricity consumption. So with the growing emphasis on reducing carbon footprint, the industry today is witnessing a surge in alternative energy. So looking at biofuels, hydrogen, and of course, electric cars, right? Electric vehicles, EVs, and the charging station that support this particular strategy, right? And they can be, part of your broader sustainability strategy going forward. So the rise of EVs today, and we're starting to see that trend as well, especially here in Africa, has several sort of significant impacts on fuel dispensing management, both in terms of the fuel industry and the broader energy infrastructure. So the adoption of EVs continues to grow in our space. And I think where we are in the energy sort of space, the fuel industry as a cornerstone of the global economy really has a pivotal role to play in this sort of energy transition. And we need to be making sure that we're front and center of that. And I think lastly, let me talk about automation, Sean, because one of the most significant trends that we're witnessing today is the rise of automation in our industry. So advanced fuel dispensing systems are now incorporating smart technology, enabling remote monitoring and management, right? So these systems, allow operators, essentially to track fuel levels, monitor pump performance, and even conduct diagnostics, from anywhere you are in the world. This is the beauty of automation. And not only does this enhance efficiency, but it also reduces downtime and ultimately leading to increased profitability. So essentially, automated, FMS are essentially critical for optimizing fuel usage and ensuring efficient operation, particularly in industries where we play in the commercial industry. So transportation, aviation, shipping, marine, mining. Essentially, these are really, really key. So when you start to leverage this technology to monitor and control and analyze fuel consumption, you actually get real-time benefits like real-time monitoring, data integration, automated reporting, predictive analysis, access control, and essentially inventory management, right? But look, and here's the good news that maybe this is my sort of like 2 seconds public service announcement, right? The good news is that Gilbarco as a business, as a company, we're already at the forefront of all these trends. Through our innovation and our global R&D, we're already deploying solutions in multiple sectors and really offering advisory roles and advisory services and playing a pivotal role in assisting business in, for example, how did they transition into, the new sort of energy space and, to be able to play into that green economy. So I hope that sort of gives everybody in the audience a bit of a flavor in terms of the kind of trends that we're seeing in this particular space, Sean. So hopefully that gives you some sort of light into it. Thanks a lot, Sean.
Thanks, Wes. And I think it's certainly true that the future is a multi-energy future. We're certainly seeing that, and the use of different technologies like EV and hydrogen is going to be core to managing dispensing controls, and the ability to control dispensing and doing efficiency reporting across multiple energy sources is also becoming more and more prevalent for us as we move forward. So thanks for that insight. It's really great sharing that insight with us. Just a quick reminder to everyone, please, don't feel shy to ask the questions. Drop them onto the questions panel. If you've got any questions, we'll get to those and give you some answers at the end of the session. If you've got anything that you'd like to ask us. Now we're just going to move now into the section where we really want to hear your opinion. So you've heard from Wes the different market trends that we're seeing. So the poll that we're going to launch today is around those market trends that we are seeing. So the question that we've got is, what fuel dispensing trend is the highest priority for you? And I'm going to launch this poll at the moment, and you should see the poll on your screen at the moment. If you can go ahead and just select the one that's most important for you, and then we'll get to that at the end of the session. We'll discuss those trends and what they're coming at. So I see people are busy interacting. Thanks, really appreciate that. Let's give some people some time to answer. Yeah, about a third of you have put in your answers. So if you can just wait another minute or two or another 30 seconds and I'll close the poll. So again, they're just those trends: telematics, data and data analytics, alternative fuels and electrification, automated fuel management systems, mobile fuel solutions, and sustainability initiatives. Which one of those is the highest priority for you? Great. Well, thanks. We really appreciate your opinion, and we'll get to those results. I'm going to go ahead and close that off, and you should see our presentation come up again. Thanks for that. Okay, so Lars, I think moving on to you, one of the top 5 trends that we saw there is around mobile fueling solutions. I understand we have some really great value propositions in the space. Can you please share those with us?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, it's an exciting topic, to be honest. We've been working with this in all regions all over the world, and as Sean just mentioned, we come back from China and we presented it there, and it was a great feedback. So it's all on fuels which are moving from from one place to the other, from A to B. And what happens during that time? Do you have data transparency? Do you have control over your wet stock? What is happening? So one thing is fact, and that's that number which I put on the screen: $133 billion loss on theft, on unaccounted things happens every year. It's amazing, and trust me, I've been talking to many partners, many customers. And when you break the ice and you talk openly, then they come back to you and they say something like, "Yeah, we have $150,000 loss." And then I go like, "Okay, $150,000 loss. That's a great business case. We built you something around, and this will be paying off in no time." And then they come back to me and they say, "No, sorry, it's not per year, it's per month." So these kind of discussions I have, and we have, and we build this around, and we come with a solution. The ROI less than 1 year is more like something, it's often, very often, it's something like 2 months, 3 months, going on equipment, using what you need, not what we want you to use. And you can see down here, there's a couple of components which we are offering, but it's a little bit like a cherry picking thing here, which is normally not allowed, but we allow this. And you do tell us what your view and what your level of data integrity should be. The main thing is that you pick, and it's your choice, and that means whether you want to measure density, or whether you want to have an inclination sensor, or whether you want to have a plain GPS system just telling you, here is my truck at that time, and here is the level at the same time, exactly really what you want to know. And then all of a sudden something happens, what I don't know, the truck stops. You don't want that truck to stop, but you see it now just stopping. And you see also level dropping, or maybe level even going up by somebody putting something in there, which you also don't want. So that transparency, and again, we're coming to what Wes said earlier, the data content thing is the most important. You need to have control, and control is only possible if you have data, and data is that what we can give you. It needs something very specific. It needs something very robust. In that segment, we are not in a dining room, right? We're really in a rough environment, and that means you need to have equipment suitable for that, and we have it. It starts with a probe, which is really designed to be vibration resistant, which is really something we are proud about. We can offer. It's the consoles, which are all shock absorbing. All that needs to be packaged. It needs to be fit for purpose. And I'm telling you this because you will receive this. That is a key thing. We have thousands of installations all over the world in all regions, whether it's hot, cold, wet, humid. We have it. We have done it. So another one which I don't want to forget is that you can have a complete solution coming maybe from a very mechanical truck or barge or whatever, and you have a full package which we can offer you. Your choice again, to what degree you want to have data transparency. But you could also have something already equipped on your truck, and you have a console, and we can integrate. So this is, we have the possibility of interfacing. We're having RS-485 Modbus interfaces. We have HART. We have 420 milliamp. So there's a very variable things here where we can integrate into your system. Again, whether you want to have a display on your truck or not, it's up to you. We don't tell you you need to. No, we recommend things. That's clear. You should have a GPS in order to spot things, but then it's about it, and then you need to have the level, of course. It would be great to have something where you can have remote access. We also offer that one. You might not want to have the truck driver know what's going on the truck. So you don't have a display there, but you can control from remote, and you see what's happening, and you can manage your data on your own. That's what we really could see with all the partners and customers. They were getting transparency into their wet stock management. They were really, the added value was tremendous. It was much more beyond the only loss of fuel, but also then handling things differently, being preventive, being also future oriented. So here's a package, or there's an integration solution which we can offer to you, and it's exciting. It's really exciting, especially with the ROI less than 1 year. Trust me, you cannot earn faster money than with this one. That's a really interesting module. Okay, so thanks for listening. Back to you, Sean. Yeah.
Thanks, Lars. And that's really critical to be able to monitor and control the fuel on wheels. You know, what we're seeing and through our information systems and our customers that we are servicing, up to 50% of the fuel dispensed into end assets is dispensed from mobile applications. So it's really critical part of the fuel supply chain. And at any given time, you've got a lot of stock and a lot of money driving around on wheels. If you have one incident where that mobile tanker empties itself or gets emptied, unauthorized emptying, then you're talking about a significant amount of money that is lost. And the return on investment, as you and I have discussed on a number of occasions, is often below 2 months on these kind of tanker truck applications. So I think it's quite a nice segue into the next sort of discussion point that I've got, and that's a case study. And I think before we review the results of the poll, I just want to share this case study with you of a customer that has created real value by implementing dispensing controls, and this happened to be in a mining operation. In this particular case study, the customer had challenges with managing the fuel dispensing in their operations. They had manualized processes that were prone to, firstly, manipulation, and secondly, incorrect capturing. So often they'll find that the people dispensing the fuel or recording the fuel might have missed transactions, and then there's manipulation of the data at the end of the day to balance, and it really caused a major issue with them. And at the end of the month, when they captured this information into their financial systems, they were left with about 20% of their fuel usage in unallocated volume sitting in their financial system. And that wasn't, they end up writing that off to head office expense because they couldn't allocate that out to the individual cost centers or user departments. So what we did is we implemented an end-to-end fuel management solution for the customer. This included wet stock management, which we covered in the last webinar session, and dispensing control for fixed site refueling and mobile tanker refueling. So we did an end-to-end fuel supply chain management process. And we agreed with that customer that the most effective way to measure the effectiveness of the implementation could only be done after a full year of operation. And this was decided because we found that the operation was quite cyclical. They had ups and downs on month to month, impacted by potentially low production months, high production months, potentially some unrest and mine shutdowns. So on a full year cycle, we agreed with them that we would look at liters per tons mined for the full year before implementation and liters per tons mined for the year after the implementation. And that full year, what we saw is that production had increased slightly year on year. The fleet size remained pretty much the same year on year, but diesel usage decreased significantly. And what you can see on the screen is really a savings of 0.29 liters per tons mined, which is 19% saving on their fuel bill. And the average cost of fuel over that period was $1.40. And when we looked at their spend on a system of $750,000, including operational expenses, the annualized savings of $1.5 million, they had a return on investment of 6 months. Now, a return on investment for 6 months is really an attractive investment because thereafter you are in free cash flow and you're generating extra profitability for the organization. And it's really just an indication of what we can do. And on most of our customers, we are seeing anywhere between 5 and 20% savings, depending on the controls that they've got in place, and how bad the control measures that they had in place there was. So I think the other aspect of what we did for this customer, and it wasn't quantified in the case study, was the process improvement that we had. So we reduced the administration overhead around management of their fuel by having to capture and recapture and capture it into the financial systems. So they really improved this process, and we automated the data from the fuel management system directly into the ERP system, and we eliminated that excess amount that was left over every month, and we reduced their operational overheads. And plus, we did this in a daily basis. So their financial system was always only 1 day behind, and the cost allocations were there and really up to speed. So again, I see some questions coming through in the questions tab. Great, we'll cover those at the end. What I just want to do is maybe just bring up the results of the poll. Let me just bring that up, and we should see that on screen now. So really, no surprise for me here. I see where's Lars? Top of everyone's mind is alternative fuels and electrification. And secondly, we're talking about automated fuel management systems. So I really think that, you know, those two topics, like you said, Wes, are really top of mind for people. And then telematics is also key and important. Yeah, Lars, I think you and I experienced quite a lot around the alternative fuels and electrification on our trip to China, and what we saw was really eye-opening for us. Maybe you want to just give a short synopsis of your feelings of that.
Yeah, when we were, and I think a good example is that port which you mentioned. And if you see that everybody is moving into alternative energies, and at least to make it a split and to make it let's say an environmentally more healthy and friendly surrounding, and that split in diesel 1/3, LPG 1/3, and electric vehicle or trucks, I must say, in that port was really impressive. So what I learned from that was, if you want to do it, it's possible. You just need to really start somewhere, and that's something with the battery swap in 5 minutes, fully automated. Yes, you need to start somewhere. You find ways of doing it, and you will improve as you go forward. And the next generation is already telling us the batteries will be mounted from the bottom, and it will be even faster to exchange them. So a lot on the move, a lot going forward. And China impressed me to that extent, as this is not only in that, let's say, microcosm in the port, but you can see it also in the day-to-day life there. So it's been really pushing hard. We know that China is one of those electrification countries which are really advanced and moving forward, pushed also by regulations. Yeah, and we can learn a lot from them. I think we picked a lot from there, looking into from a different angle, moving forward and doing it, and not waiting until somebody comes up with a solution. And I think we have enough solutions to offer here, and yeah, that will be a challenge. Challenge us.
Yeah, thanks, Lars. And where's, you know, the second topic there is automated fuel management systems. Any surprise for you there?
Not at all. I mean, to be honest, just to go back to the first point, right? I'm really happy that people are taking alternative fuels and electrification and sustainability, these kind of issues, into the forefront of the business, because I think it informs us as a business as well in terms of how do we now meet market needs and market desires so we can be able to offer those solutions going forward. So I'm really excited about alternative energy. But in terms of the second point, in terms of automated fuel management systems, again, this is a space from a Gilbarco point of view that we play effectively very well. We understand that people want to have quick access to data. They want to be able to do remote diagnostics, to be able to do remote monitoring of their wet stock management, etc. It's a point that we spend a lot of time at the first webinar, and I think maybe there's something that we need to re-engage again, maybe as we go forward. But again, Sean, absolute no surprises here. And I think as data becomes much more critical, like I said, data cannot be underestimated enough I mean, information data is essentially the new currency going forward. And I'm just happy that, as a business, we're really at the forefront of providing, automated FMS as part of our solution set when we provide to the marketplace.
Excellent. Thanks, Wes. So there you have it. I think that's your opinion, and we really appreciate that. So now we're just going to move into the final segment, which is around our Q&A. And there are some questions here. So Adrian posted a question around the probe that we use in the mobile tankers. The question is the probe a standard probe or laser or ultrasonic? Lars, do you want to give a quick answer on that? And the second part of that, does the probe allow to identify different fuel types? So maybe you can tackle those in one question.
What was the second one? Sorry.
Does the probe allow to identify different fuel types?
Fuel types. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it is a magnet-restrictive probe. If you're familiar with the petrol site, then you know that technology has been used actually as a standard in all petrol sites. The only thing is, on a petrol site, the tank's not moving. So what we did with that technology, we made it more robust. So we redesigned the probe completely, and it's a different technical make. So technically, in the sense of measuring, it's the same technology. It's magnet restrictive, but it's really made for this rough environment. So that is what we use. Therefore, we're having this high accuracy, which you also need in order to detect small amounts of fuel, maybe missing, taken, whatever, and we only go down to less than 10 liters. We can detect easily. It's because of that high technology. But really, it's a different saying that it's a vibration resistant probe or making a vibration resistant probe. It took us, and I'm open with this, it took us 9 years to get there. A lot of experience coming in from the field. Floats had to be adapted, all these things, but now this system is super stable since many years, and but it's been a journey. And yes, the technology similar like on the petrol side when you have the ATG, it can detect, of course, different fuels. It can be set for different fuels or diesel. That is a standard. Yes.
Thanks, Lars. Appreciate that. So Alan also posted a question. And I think I'll take this one. How can mobile tank applications work in low or no internet coverage or geographical areas? So Alan, thanks for that question. Yeah, it's really important. Our dispensing control solutions are designed for low data environments. So there's two things. Firstly, they are designed to work in offline mode, so they can go and dispense fuel and work in offline mode for it's anything up to 6 months. Each one of them has a local database that stores those transactions, and we say up to 6 months worth of transactions, but in theory it could go for longer than that. The second thing is that when that mobile tanker does come into a coverage area, the communication protocol that is on that mobile tanker truck is really designed to send small packets. And it does a lot of data transfer in a quick way. So it doesn't try and send one big packet and then drop it. It sends the transactions, each transaction at a time, which makes it a lot more robust, and it gets the transactions through a lot quicker. And it allows us to send transactions as that mobile tanker comes in and out of coverage areas, or if you've got Wi-Fi in certain areas, you can use Wi-Fi. So we've got multiple communications methods to get that data off of those mobile tanker trucks. So that's really how we tackle that. So thanks for that answer. It was really great. So that's it. I don't see any other questions. Thanks for the questions. We really appreciate them. We hope that we answered those questions to your satisfaction. Going on to just the closeout for this. Firstly, thank you, Wes and Lars. Thanks for your valuable insights and your input. Really appreciate it. Always a pleasure to chat with you too. And then most importantly, thank you to all the attendees for your participation. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to hosting you at our next session, which will be episode 3, which is integrated fleet, asset, and driver management. And the last thing is that the recording of this webinar will be made available online after we close the session if you want to download it and share it with anybody feel free to do that. So that's it from us, and until next time, thank you very much, everyone.